Is the hot hatch I've been waiting for Ford to build for years. We drove the ST and it was a great car, but torque steer and the front wheel drive layout had me wanting more. Ford's performance lineup is looking mighty good, so let's see how the RS stacks up. Under the hood of the RS is a 2.3 liter EcoBoost that pumps out 350 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. Mated to a 6-speed manual transmission means 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. But more than just those numbers is how eager the Focus RS feels to drive quickly. Even just putting around in the parking lot, the throttle response when you're in sport mode, which is one of 4 driving modes, you've got normal, sport, track, and drift, we'll talk about those later, the car feels like it's ready to have fun, and that is carried out throughout the rest of the car. It feels incredibly nimble, turn in is instant, the steering is perfectly weighted in sport mode, and the power curve feels very linear. It doesn't feel like a turbocharged car at all. Part of the reason the Focus RS drives so well is because of the unique all-wheel drive system. Instead of using an off-the-shelf all-wheel drive system like the Golf R, Ford turned to GKN, which uses a permanently rotating drive shaft, a rear differential with 2 clutch packs that can split the power up to 70% in the rear. It can also spin the rear tires faster than the fronts in order to assist the car mid-corner. It really handles well. Unlike the Focus ST we tested with some Cobb aftermarket parts that loved to torque steer thanks to all-wheel drive, we've got none of that at all. The car accelerates very quickly for a car of this size and in this price range. Remember, this is, after all, a Focus. You can get a base one for $18,000. This, as spec, was in the mid 38,000s, 38,500, and the owner of this car actually got it without dealer markup. Pretty lucky. The car is really confident in the turns. You don't get your typical understeer at all, thanks to that rear differential. The turning radius, however, is terrible. All-wheel drive Focus, not ideal when it comes to maneuvering in small areas. This is gonna take a 7-point turn to do a quick little turnaround here. So definitely one of the gripes of the car. Whew. Mostly you hear the induction noise, not a lot of exhaust note, but when you do put it in sport mode, you get some pops and cracks. So we've got 4 different driving modes. I'm gonna put it in normal to see how that changes things. So it loosens up the steering a little bit, throttle response is lessened, but even in normal, it feels like a pretty peppy car. One of the biggest downsides of the vehicle, however, is the sport suspension mode that literally makes the car feel like it's riding on a bag of bricks. I don't even know what the point of this is. Even on a racetrack, way too aggressive with the suspension. Let's put that back in normal. You can control the suspension independently from everything else via the stalk here mounted on the steering column. I like that feature. Feel the rear end get a little loose there. This car puts the power down really well. And it actually feels pretty isolated from the road. For a car of this size, you'd think there'd be more wind noise and stuff like that. They're obviously trying to keep the cost and the weight down, which usually means removing insulation. But it's actually very civilized. If you're looking for a really crazy raw driving experience, I wouldn't say the Focus RS is your best bet. But if you're looking for something that is daily drivable, that looks badass, that's incredibly fun to drive, and is capable around the track, now this is limited for track use, then the RS is an absolutely awesome car. The reason I say limited for the track use is it has some issues with the temperature of the rear differential. When the temperature sensors start going crazy, it shuts down the rear diff, then you get a front wheel drive car, and, well, it's not really Focus RS anymore, is it? Of course, with good acceleration and handling means you have to have good brakes. We've got 4-piston Brembo brakes in the front, single pistons in the rear. Let's test those out. Oh yeah, that has instant brake response. I actually really enjoy the pedal feel. We've got pedals that are pretty close together. Looks very well spaced for heel-toe downshifting. Yeah, very easy. You've got an indicator light on the front dash that tells you when to upshift, probably for getting the best fuel economy. Fuel economy wise, this doesn't get the greatest fuel economy. In the city, you're probably going to average something around 15, but if you're buying this car, you're probably not buying it to be efficient. The interesting thing about the Focus RS is it's actually made in Germany, not America. So you are buying an American car, but it is still an import. So for the purists, I don't know if that matters to you, technically, is this really an American car? I'm not sure. On downshifts, we get a little backfires from the exhaust. Kind of wish that was louder, actually. It's a really easy to drive manual transmission. Each gear change is very confident. You know exactly what gear you're in without being too difficult to get into each gear. An interesting part about the design of the Focus RS is that the intercooler was actually too efficient, so they had to add a blanking plate in order to reduce airflow. Now, what do I mean by too efficient? Well, the problem is in a really humid environment, and a really hot day, water vapor would condense and collect in the intake. Then you mash the throttle to pass someone on the highway at high speeds. It's gonna suck that water vapor into the cylinders and cause problems with the engine. Because of this, they added a blanking plate from a Ford Transit van to the front of the car to reduce airflow, and that solved the problem. A little bit of a shoddy way of doing things, but hey, whatever works. The front end of this car looks fantastic. Thankfully, all the regulations with 5-mile-per-hour bumpers and all that didn't ruin the styling of this car. The front grills look really intense. I love the way the rear diffuser and the split dual exhaust looks, and the spoiler is actually functional for increasing downforce. The car is available in 4 different colors in the US, 5 in Europe. In the US, you've got black, white, gray, and nitrous blue. Nitrous blue is definitely the coolest color. I'm really enjoying this car. This is a lot of fun to drive. Wow, feels really confident in the turns. It's got a nice go-kart-like vibe to it. The seat is a little bit too high up for my liking. You kind of feel like you're riding on top of the car instead of in it. It also makes reaching the clutch and the gas and the brake kind of difficult. If you're a heavier buyer, these seats are definitely going to be too tight. There was a lot of complaints on the Recaro seats on the ST. I'm sure they're going to get a lot of complaints with these on the RS as well. In summary, I'm really impressed with the Focus RS. The power's there, the handling is there, it's not too heavy, it's got a good amount of isolation from the road without being completely disconnected. I love the way the steering feels. It has also got this really cool feature called anti-stall, where if you do stall the car, you come to a complete stop in 3rd gear and forget to push the clutch in or something like that, and the car shuts off, just pushing in the clutch actually turns the vehicle back on, so you don't have to fumble with the start-stop button. Pretty cool. So would I buy this car? That's kind of the ultimate question when I test a car, is would I spend my own money on it? To be honest, for $38,000 for kind of a base Focus RS, it's one of the best cars for the money, hands down, in terms of being fun to drive, being practical. You can use this in the winter. You can store stuff in the back. 2 thumbs up for the Focus RS. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.